guys, welcome back. If you're new, my name is Chris. Today's real quick video is a response to a comment that was left on one of my videos from a few months back. And the comment said, "You are a fraud. You never wear your perfumes. Your fragrances are not used." I thought that would be a good segue into me doing a perfume video called Show Me Your Dent. Now, admittedly, I do not have a bunch of perfumes that have a huge dent. There's a lot of reasons for that. One is I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of perfumes. I'm still struggling with myself if I'm going to do a full collection video. There's a whole bunch of reasons why I'm hesitant to do that. If you saw the number of perfumes I have and you know that I wear something probably different every day, you would easily understand that it's going to be difficult for me to get through a full bottle. The second of those is I work in a hospital, and even though they don't regimentally enforce a no scent policy, it's kind of understood that you are not to be exuding a huge scent bubble when you are at work. You need to be respectful and understand that not everybody likes fragrances. Even though I wear fragrances to work, and sometimes I might wear fragrances that I probably shouldn't, I do have my own office so I can get away with a lot, and I do have to be light-handed. So I cannot spray 10, 15, 20 times and head out to work. It's just not something that's a reality. So all those together is going to equate that when you see my bottles, I'm probably not going to have a huge dent. That being said, I do have fragrances that have a big dent in them, and I have about 30 minutes before I need to head off to work, and I thought that would be a cute, quick video for me to do. Show me your dent. I've seen a couple other people do it. I've seen Cherie from the Top Note do it, and so I thought I would do my version of Show Me Your Dent. I have I think I have 10 fragrances here where I have a pretty decent dent, and one is empty, one fragrance is empty. So that'll be the video today. I'm gonna show you fragrances that I think I have, for me at least, a pretty significant dent. So the first one I'm going to start off with is a rose-based perfume. This is one of the most unique and different rose-based perfumes in my collection. It is Rose 31 by Lalabo, and it's hard to show, but the dent, I probably am getting close to halfway, maybe not quite that, maybe 40%, saying that I haven't worn it a lot this year. This is my dirty rose. This is my dirty, naughty rose. I don't have anything that smells like this. It has this it's very interesting and unique in that it has elements of freshness and elements of kind of dirtiness at the same time. This is like a naughty, sexy rose. So it has this freshness. It's fresh and dewy and light, but there's also a darkness to it. The rose does feel like it has just been rained on, and the rain was such that it saturated it so much that it kind of flopped in the dirt. So it does have this earthiness to it. It has a dirtiness to it. There is a cumin note in here, which I hate. I do not like cumin in fragrances. Cumin smells like BO. I mean, there's really no other way to put it. It's icky. So there is a little bit of a cumin note at first, but that really kind of fades. Even though it's dewy and there's a little bit of like dirtiness, maybe a little bit of patchouli and some kind of woodier notes, there is a light airiness to this. This is one of my most complimented perfumes. Pretty much it's universally complimented. Every single time I wear it, I get compliments. You smell so pretty. You smell so nice and light. And I wore this like 2 days ago. I had sprayed it in the foyer and kind of put the perfume down, but I wasn't going to work. I was gonna be out and about. The perfume lingered in the doorway, and when my daughter walked in, she was like, "Oh, Mom, it smells so good in the front. It smells like a nice perfume." And it was Rose 31. And so I got a good little dent, maybe 40% going on with Rose 31. The next one is one I just showed. I've had this perfume for almost 3 years. It is by Une Nuit Nomade, and this is nothing but Seeing Sky. I am 50% done with this perfume. This is one of my favorite bright, musky sandalwoods. This has 3 notes listed. I think it's like bergamot, sandalwood, and musk. The sandalwood in here is very fresh. It's very fresh and crisp, and it's paired with a really nice crisp bergamot. And there's a lovely fresh musk. This is kind of like this is a very good everyday scent, one of the very few light and airy, clean and fresh scents that I will wear year round. There's something about it that just goes very well with kind of like this cold, crisp air and a cloudless sky. And this is great for the summer. This is like fresh laundry, fresh t-shirt, fresh your skin but better. It, you know, doesn't last forever, and I would say, you know, maybe 4 to 5 hours, but definitely one of my all-time clean and fresh fragrances, nothing but Seeing Sky. I stopped wearing it for a while because I was afraid I was going to go through the bottle, but I'm just going to wear it with wild abandon like I like to, and I will definitely be done with this fragrance bottle by the end of the summer. The next one we're going to go with is the epitome of a Dent. It is an empty bottle. That is my L'air du Desert Marocain by Tower Perfumes. I have probably gone through, I don't know, maybe a dozen perfumes in the past. I've gone through dozens of perfumes in the past. I mean, I've been wearing perfumes for a long, long time. I never save the bottle. I saved this bottle because this is a very special perfume for me. This perfume, I really think, even though I had niche fragrances before I had this one, it really kind of opened my mind to the amazingness of the niche world. And that was when I really did a deep dive into niche fragrances and started to really go crazy with niche fragrances. It was because of this beautiful bottle. And of course, you know, I have a new bottle now because this is one of my lifers. This is a 10 for life, and this is one of the very few masterpieces in my collection. It's a very dry, spicy, woody fragrance. It is supposed to make you think that you are on the edge of a Moroccan desert right next to a spice market, and that's what I get. I talk about it all the time, so I'm just going to briefly touch on this fragrance. But yeah, the ultimate Dent here, an empty bottle, and I will be wearing this for years and years to come. Another very polarizing fragrance. This is my second bottle, and half of you are gonna love it and half of you are gonna hate it, but it is my beloved Baccarat Rouge 540. I'm halfway done with this bottle. This is my second bottle. I haven't worn it as much. That first bottle, man, I just peeled through that bottle. I got through that bottle pretty quickly. Purchased the second one because this is another kind of lifer for me, at least I think so. I know a lot of you tell me in the comments here and over on Instagram, I can't stand Baccarat 540. I smell it everywhere. Fortunately, I don't smell it everywhere. The things I smell, Black Opium, La Vie Belle, Coco Mademoiselle, that's what I smell. I never smell this. I take it back. I smelled it once at Orange Theory, my gym, and I smelled it once at Trader Joe's. Actually, I think it was a dupe. It was probably Ariana Grande Cloud. I'd smelled something a little bit similar. It wasn't this, but it was that vibe. So if I probably smelled it everywhere, I'd probably get sick of it. Another masterpiece in my collection. Love it, making a fair dent in it. And I definitely, within the next year or two, will get through my bottle of Baccarat 540. The next bottle up that has a humongous dent in it is probably going to be the perfume that I will run through quicker. This will be done before the summer is out, is by Bal d'Afrique. This is the best vetiver fragrance, in my opinion, of all time. And as you can see, we are pretty much down to the very bottom of this perfume. And this is the large one. This is a beautiful vetiver with juicy tropical fruits and violet. And that's what I get. It's these mouth-watering fruits, particularly lemon. I think there's a little bit of black currant, maybe some bergamot. And then it's vetiver, and violet adds a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of powderiness to it. This is another very, very unique fragrance. I don't know why it wasn't in my masterpiece, because it definitely could have been in my masterpiece fragrances, because I don't have anything that smells like this. This is really one of a kind. And when I went fragrance shopping, when I found this the first time, it was years and years ago in downtown Chicago. I must have smelled 200 perfumes. I got to this one, I was like, wow, this smells different than anything else. It is a beautiful fragrance, and you know, it's a really nice fresh fragrance. I like to wear it a lot in the spring and summer, year round, but really shines in the spring and summer. And this is a longer wearing Byredo. The next fragrance up is one of my longtime loves. It's one of my all-time love freshies, and it is Chanel Chance Eau Fraiche. I love Chanel Chance Eau Tendre. I'm on my second bottle of that. And I hadn't worn Chanel Chance Eau Fraiche in a long, long time, and I recently got it out maybe 2 weeks ago to spray it, and I sprayed it and it's gone. It clearly had turned. It's no longer the Chanel Chance Eau Fraiche when I purchased it, and the juice is supposed to be green. So this clearly is past its prime, so I picked up another bottle of it during the Sephora sale, because this is just a classic, clean and fresh fragrance, one of the best designer clean and fresh fragrances of all time, in addition to Chanel Chance Eau Tendre. that I love. This is a very bright citrusy fragrance with a touch of sweetness, and it's one of the few fresh and clean fragrances where that citrus note, the citrus part of the fragrance, really kind of extends throughout the life of the perfume, even though there is kind of a heavy woody base. I want to say there's cedar in here. So there's cedar in here, a little bit of musk, but this is a nice lemony, sweet, lemony, fresh perfume that has really decent lasting power. It's not going to disappear in a couple of hours. And I've talked about it before. I think Versace Versence that I just showed in my Clean and Fresh video is a very good alternative to this. They are very, very close, and Versence is at least half the price, but I have both in my collection. This one is a little bit more upscale. It's not as sharp and harsh, and the citruses in this last a little bit longer, but I love this one, and the Dent speaks for itself. So I'm just gonna grab and go so I can get out to work on time. The next one is my favorite spicy floral of all time. I've showed it a million gajillion times. It's Black Jade. This doesn't look like a huge dent, but this is a fancy perfume that isn't an everyday fragrance. This is a very elevated, sophisticated floral, and I don't wear it just willy-nilly. In casual situations, I will wear it to work. I've worn it to work before, and I remember because I have one of my coworkers, she doesn't work with me anymore, but she wasn't really a fan of most perfumes. And I remember wearing this and she was like, okay, not only do I like that perfume, I love that perfume. What is it? And it was Black Jade. This is a gorgeous, spicy floral. It has cardamom up at the top. There's bergamot. It gives it a nice freshness. There are florals. The florals are like jasmine and rose. I get a little bit more rose. But really what this is an amber fragrance. This is amber perfection. This is a beautiful, spicy amber floral, and my very favorite amber floral of all time. And again, I don't wear it all the time. I have to be a little bit more dressed up, a little bit snazzy. This is a nice date night fragrance, and I have a nice little scent bubble. It's not going to kill people with projection, and I just feel very chic and elegant. This is Parisian elegance in a bottle, my beloved Black Jade. The next one I'm going to talk about is from a house that I have shown many times before, but I've never shown this perfume. And I absolutely, oh my gosh, I love this. I'm not a huge fan of green fragrances. This is my favorite green fragrance. And unfortunately, I mean, it's by a house that I love. It's by, it's by a house I love. It's by Regime de Fleurs. I think this is my 5th bottle. And it's called Cacti, and the reason I don't talk about it is because I cannot believe it, but it got discontinued, or it's just disappeared off the face of the earth, except New Zealand. Let me tell you, I have done an in-depth search of where you can find this. It is sold out everywhere. There's one shop in New Zealand that sells it, and I did get a backup because I know this is a reflective bottle, but I will tell you that the line is right there. So that, for me, is a pretty big dent. I don't know, can you see it? See that? So I am just about halfway done with this, and considering I stopped wearing it because I was afraid I was never gonna find it again, the dent is real, and it's spectacular seeing that I didn't wear it for over a year. Now that I have a backup, one of the very few backups I have, now I can wear it with freedom. This is like nothing I own, and I'd love to find something very similar. This is, I don't know how they do it, but this is watery without being aquatic. But the core of this perfume is a very light tea, aloe vera, and cucumber. And to me, even though it has lots of other notes in here, that translates into the most delicious, refreshing, fancy spa water you've ever tasted in your life. There's a little bit of lemon here, like a tiny splash of lemon. It has a green freshness and something slightly spicy. I mean, slightly spicy, slightly peppery. And I know there is like shiso leaf in here, and I just recently had like shiso in something I ordered within the past month. I want to say it's a salad. And it is like, it's almost like an arugula. It is green, but it has a little pepperiness to it. To me, it was a little bit more bitter than arugula, but that's what I think I'm smelling in here. A little bit of jasmine, a little bit of florals, but the heart again is tea, cucumber, aloe vera. a little bit of a watery note, a little bit of lemon, and this lovely fresh green, slightly pepperiness to it. It is very, very unique. I have nothing else like it. And it also, as I'm remembering, it also in the dry down gets just a little bit, it heads into the bitter zone, but it's not quite bitter. And I know that there is mate tea in here, which sometimes that doesn't work for me, because even if you drink it in real life, and if that note is in a fragrance, it can make fragrances too bitter for me. It's not my favorite note. So I can detect it in the background, but thankfully this stays out of the bitter zone. I absolutely love it and tore through it. I loved it so much until I was worried I never could get it again. Now I have a backup. I can wear it with Wild Abandon. The next one up is one by Coastal Carolina Perfumes. This makes 3 for me. This is one of my favorite peach fragrances. I talked about it over the summer. This is like the best peach tea fragrance of all time. It's called Southern Peach Tea, and the dent is here. So about 50% done. This is a really kind of a rich tea. This is a boozy tea fragrance. So this has a nice citrusy opening. I want to say it's like grapefruit or blood orange, it's one or the other. So it has a really nice, slightly sweet punch. There's tea, so it's a black tea, but it's not bitter. So take a black tea, remove the bitterness, and then add like peach schnapps to it. And that's kind of what I get here. It is delicious. This is a delicious, scrumptious peach tea fragrance, again, without any bitterness and a little bit of naughtiness from like that peach schnapps thing going on here. Absolutely love it. I will definitely, by the end of summer, probably empty my bottle of Southern Peach Tea. Okay, a quick battery change. I got 2 more and then I need to zip off the work. The next one is a perfume I essentially stopped wearing for over a year because it was discontinued, and I just was worried. I know that you just cannot get it back up, and I loved it so much. I even had a momentary lapse of sanity, considered getting rid of it because I wasn't wearing it, and I thought, then I came to my senses and realized that was ridiculous. I'm going to keep it. I'm just going to wear it. And when I'm done, I'm done. I'm going to move on to other fragrances. Listen, perfumes get discontinued all the time, and yet we find new ones that we love, including me. But the one I speak of is Volutes, and this is the Dent I have, and this was made in about a year, which is pretty good for me, seeing that I really stopped wearing it. This is the EDT. I have the EDP. The EDT was one I wore. They are different. I wore this in the spring and summer, and I wore Volutes in the wintertime, in the colder months, because that's how they read for me. Volutes is one of the prettiest honey tobacco fragrances around. It's definitely one of the most feminine leaning honey tobacco fragrances, and I'm very, very sad it got discontinued. Nevertheless, here we are, and don't buy it, because I've actually seen creators here on YouTube show this bottle, and I can tell it's fake from the label. So don't buy it from Amazon. Go, if you want to buy it, or if you're interested in it or want to buy it, the EDP is out. The EDP has more iris in it. It's more woody, and it's a little bit more spicy. The EDT, curiously enough, is sweeter. This has lots of resins. It's very resinous. I want to say there's styrax, there's all sorts of resins in here, which gives it a lovely ambery sweetness. So this is a sweet, ambery, tobacco honeyed fragrance that I absolutely love. I was crazy to not wear it. I realized I was crazy to want to get rid of it just because it was discontinued, and I'm going to wear it and I'm going to enjoy it. And the very last one isn't really a huge dent, but if you realized how strong this perfume is, you would get that the dent is pretty substantial. And the fragrance I speak of is Fragrance du Bois New York Intense, one of the strongest perfumes in my entire collection. Listen, when I wear this, it's 2 sprays, and that is it. If you wear more than 2 sprays, listen, all you need is 2, and it will last 12 hours plus. Now the dent in here and that, I would say it's like 30% gone, but that's saying a lot, seeing that this is a fancy perfume. It is not an everyday perfume, and it is very, very strong. I would describe this as like a beautiful, woody, spicy, aromatic fragrance, one of the few fragrances with the note of blackberry. So this has cinnamon, this has blackberry, this has patchouli, it has a little bit of oud, definitely oud in the background, patchouli in the background, and I definitely think that adds to the depth and the warmth, and certainly prolongs the life of this fragrance. It has a little bit of a bay leaf, which can be a little headache inducing for me, but it's not. And it is 100% unisex. My husband, when I wear this, he loves it, and he has stolen it out of my fragrance collection a couple times to wear it himself. So that is it. I want to say like 10 to 12 fragrances which have for me, is a dent. Considering that also, and I didn't mention it, I am an undersprayer. For that reason and for other reasons that I talked about in the opening, I'm not going to have a ton of fragrances with a big dent, but these are the ones that I have probably the biggest dent. I was going to show some runners up, but I think I'm just going to stick with this. And that is it. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching me. Thanks for supporting me. Thanks for always showing up, watching my video, giving me a thumbs up, and I appreciate all you guys who have subscribed to me. It helps me out, and I really appreciate it. And with that, I'm gonna head to work and hopefully see you on the next one.